Hello YouTube, welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and today I want to start a new series on the 2002 Big Bear 4x4. This is the original bike that I got before Jim gave me the other one. I've just been trying to get my ducks in a row and get a time where I can work on it, and I finally got it down to where it ain't going to be long. I'm going to start putting this thing together. So, but I just want to kind of show all the stuff that I've done so far to this Big Bear, and we're going to use I've got two wiring harnesses. And the 4x4, this one, didn't have a brake switch or a brake light or a speedometer. Well, let me see how I can put this. I want to use that stuff. I want to have the brake switch, because I mean, I've got the tail light that came off of the 2002 in the box, so that's what we're going to use on this 2000 just plain 2000. And it is a brake light and takes an 1157 bulb, so I want to utilize that. I want to have a brake light, and the speedometer I'm not too concerned about, because I'm going to be building my own dash. So I can make the dash look however I want. So I've got some aluminum that we can use for making the dash, but we'll get to that in a later date. Right now this video is basically just to show the frame and what all I've prepared to get this thing ready. So without running my mouth anymore, I hope everybody's been safe. I will say that. I hope everybody's taking the precautions that they need to during this time of the virus, and pray for the best. It's looking pretty bleak, but I believe as Americans that we can come together as one and kick this virus's ass. So anyway, I'll show you what we got. Alright, so let's start off by showing you the front end. This is half of the front end, and this one over here is the other half. And that is what that one looked like before I started. So I'm going to do the same thing to it. I'm going to camouflage the A-arm, both of them. I'm going to leave this over here black. I'm not going to touch any of that. I'm just going to do the A-arms, so everything else will be like it is. We already seen the rear end. It's going in. I was going to put that one in mine, the one I'm driving, but I think I'm going to do a different fix on that one. I think I'm going to take that rear end out of mine, and where this plug is, if I can get to it here, I'll show you, if I don't kill myself doing it. I think I can show you. See this oil plug right here? On mine, half of the threads are missing. The first 2 or 3 threads are missing. Or however many this is how many is missing out of here. But it goes on down, threaded a long way. So I'm going to take mine off, and I'm going to set it up in the mill here somehow, and I'm going to shave that much off of it so that we can get down to the the good threads and put on it. And there's nothing wrong with that rear end. But I'm still got to take it apart, and I'm probably going to find something I'm not going to like and want to clean it up and do the same thing to it that I did to that. Apparently I got too much time on my hands. Alright, then here's the frame, and it had a lot of pits in it. So I decided that I would just spray it, just spot spray it, because the rest of the frame looked good. It was just a few spots, like right here was a spot, right here was a spot. You can see it in the light there. You can see that imperfections in the paint. But here, the paint was good. Everywhere where it's smooth, all the paint was good. So it's just in little corners and stuff like this, maybe every so often where something rubbed. And I just started spotting it with black paint, and I said, oh, I got an idea. So I grabbed the green and the brown and the white, and I'd like to have some tan to put in it, but I don't have any tan. So we've got this here regulator bolted. It's ready to go. This is the CDI box for the 2002. And I'm probably going to have to wire in, well, no, never mind, scratch what I was going to say. I made two big washers to put on the back side of the tank because it didn't have it before, and I just think that gives it a little extra protection against coming up. And then I got these. I changed these to a 8mm, and I got rid of every single one of those dumbass little, let me show you what I'm talking about. Oh, I hate these things, man, and I think Yamaha was the dumbest people on the planet for doing this. But if I can find one here, I think there's one back here in this little area back in here. It's an Allen head screw, and I can't find it. It's probably right there in front. Right here it is. See, this is one that broke off. Those things strip out so easy, and then there's no way to get it off except to grind or take a little Dremel tool and grind the back head off of it and start over. I think that was the dumbest, one of the dumbest things that Yamaha did. Well, any of them. You don't use those. Use something that's got a hex on it so you can actually get it out. And anybody who's been in that situation can agree. I am 100% right. Alright, so I've got all the bolts that goes to this thing in their place. And minus two places right here that's got holes in it, but these don't get bolts. These get one of those things like that right there, in there. And there's one in the back that gets one like that. So I took the cut that frame on the other one, the 2002. I wasn't even in the light or in the camera. I cut that off of the other frame because this is where the brake switch mounts to go down to your lever, so that when you put the brakes on, it pulls that spring and sets your brake. So I just took and cut that off the frame out there in the round and the round part. That way all I had to do is just screw it up on there, and it's round, so it's going to stay in that orientation. It's not going to ever turn with just one bolt because it's in a circle. So it's setting like in a cradle type deal. And I've got all my bolts in. Here's another one of those things. I can't remember what that goes to, but we'll find out. I still got to get nuts and bolts for this, for both the mud guards. Some of these I have turned into a 1/4-20. I had to because this one broke off and I had to drill it out bigger, so I was able to tap it a 1/4-20. And yeah, I got to clean that washer up or find a better looking one. And some of these I left at 10 mil or the metrics threads because I had decent screws to put in them. Got all my bolts cleaned up, ready to go. Got my oil cooler on. And next I'm going to be putting the steering column in, but I've got to clean it up and paint it. But right now I'm just I'm not putting a lot of it together because I still got to carry it out the door. So right now I'm just test fitting stuff and making sure that it's still light enough for me to be able to carry it around to get it out of here, so that when I go to start putting the axle or the rear end in and the front suspension, then it can be sitting on wheels on its own, and then I'll have to start covering it with a four-wheeler cover. Right now I've got a customer's here, customer's bike. It's a 2002 Kodiak. .400, and one of the ends off of the rocker arm where you adjust the exhaust valve broke clean off and laying inside of it. Here's what that looked like. So I gotta tear into it because the flywheel is at top dead center. The T is in the sight glass, or the sight hole. Piston is top dead center, but the timing gear is 180 off. So that tells me that it's either, and the gears actually look a little round too, so it looks like it could have been slipping. And it's been a long time since that thing's had anything. The chain's probably stretched so damn bad the tensioner can't go any further to tighten it up. So it's a little loose. So we're going to tear into the side of it and see what all damage is done. And I got to take a head off, so you're going to have to get a head gasket. But anyway, I'm proud of that frame, man. That thing looks pretty good. I just noticed that one of the guys on the Big Bear group that I posted these pictures of this frame, he said that's an awful lot of work for something you never see, and then he showed me one that he painted up really nice too. So I told him, I said, yeah, ain't that right? But I'll know that it looks good underneath. Don't matter what anybody else knows. That's that OCD coming out of me. And my wheels are spinning on this quad. I'm also thinking real serious about finding a place on this where I can stamp the VIN number into it. I finally got the VIN number. Of course, the VIN number is not really going to help me any, simply because I'm using a 2002 wiring harness, and I'm going to be changing some stuff. So the VIN number is really not going to help you much on anything except for telling you what year the frame is. So, because the front end, I'm taking some parts off of the front end of the 2002, and most of the parts for the one that come off of this, if I need to replace something, I'll take it off the 2002, but 2002's kind of wore out too. So robbing Peter to pay Paul to make this work. And this is going to be a real nice bike. I still got to clean that motor up, and I am dreading it. It's pulling me. I'm kicking and screaming going because I don't want to do it. So this frame was a nightmare to get cleaned. So the rear end and the motor is the next worst things I've got to clean up. And yes, I'm going to try my best to make that motor look as good as that rear end. I want them to match. So I got to do a bunch of detailing on it. I got to paint some universal or yokes and paint brackets and stuff like that to put on it for like your shifter. I mean, to move it into reverse. That reverse lever, I got to paint it and just a whole bunch of stuff. And while I'm at it, I may just go ahead and put the new magneto in it while I've got it down and out, so it's easy to work on. Because I did get a new one for this, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in. I've got another one here that came off of the 2002, which is exactly the same motor. And that one looks like a good one. And it can be tested. I'm having a few issues with the one I got from eBay. Looks to me like that thing's been wounded. The wires, the copper wire, was wounded by chimpanzees. Everything's just all matted and, you know, it's not uniform like this is. You know, see how straight they got all those? Nice and straight road. The new one ain't like that. So I'm kind of iffy on it. But this one here, when I first got it, it had no spark. So we don't know if maybe that might have been the problem anyway. So I'm going to change it and put the new one on it and hope for the best. The 2002 that one came out of, it was set still because it was wrecked. So, and it was tore up real bad. So that one may be a good one. And I wouldn't be afraid to take a chance on it because I can test that. So I'll test it with the voltmeter or ohms meter and whatever else I need to test and do an ohms test on it. Anyway, I hope you like my frame. I sure do. And don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. If you want to help the shop out in these troubled times, it would be greatly appreciated. You can do so with PayPal at bisonworkshop@gmail.com. You guys have a good one. Later.